The John Lebang Show has been known to make people laugh, sing, think, scream, throw things in rage, and generally lose their minds. Listener discretion is advised.
Worldwide and out to the greater universe, you're listening to the John Lebang Show.
Greetings, Earthlings, and alert the media. Lots in store for you this hour, and it's headed your way. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of the broadcast, I just have to vent just a little bit. Because here we have the media, along with the you-know-what party, Big D's over there. They're complaining because there's a document that has been discovered through Freedom of Information stating that some government people were trying, in the Trump administration and some Republicans were trying to find out about the sale of a specific company. It's called Uranium One. And what Clinton had to do with that. And the Democrats and the media are pointing out, they're saying, oh, this is Trump and his minions using government to target people for investigations. As if that wasn't happening during the Obama administration. They do it. It's okay. Somebody else does it. No, you can't do it. Foul. You can't do it, baby. You can't do it. Only us. Because the rules are different. For the ones that want to rule the world, we should know that. Hillary Clinton should get at least 10 years in prison for just the email scandal. Anybody else would? You would, I would. Not Hillary, no. Speaking of Hillary, one of the things we want to discuss this hour is International Women's Month. We're calling this hour the International Women's Brigade because we're going to celebrate in our own way women. Specific women in particular. And since Hillary was brought up, I thought, hey, this would be a great opportunity to discuss the very first person inaugurated into our once scumbag Hall of Fame, which we've considered on bringing it back because there sure are a lot of people that would be inducted these days. A great deal amount of people. We may have to build on a second wing just to fill the amount of people that might go into the Scumbag Hall of Fame. But Hillary made some news this week. She came out, she says, oh, I'm not running for president. She's done. Finally, Hillary's done. So let's give her a big round of applause. Hillary, good job. You tried. You weren't good enough. We know why, here on the John Lebang Show, why you weren't good enough. Other people may not see it. They didn't see that you stole the Democratic nomination from Bernie Sanders. They didn't see all the heinous acts you were doing with the Clinton Foundation. They didn't want to see what happened, really, in Benghazi. They only wanted to hear this.
What difference at this point does it make?
Because what difference does it make at all? Hillary, all you have ever done is made history. So I thought we'd give her a little tribute from the John Lebang Show. The memories you've given us, Hillary. Whitewater, Benghazi, Filegate, the Bosnian airport sniper, Emailgate, and the women you have supported throughout the years, Jennifer and Monica and so many others. We wanted to thank you, Hillary, for all that you have done for not only the country, but for women in general. Now, Hillary, we saw in a recent interview that you were not only saying you weren't going to run anymore, but you said there's just too much division in the country. We have grown in opposing camps, and you feel bad about it, and you want to work hard to make a difference to fix that. And Hillary, we just want to remind you, in case your age has allowed you to lose a few memories, it was you and the Democrats over the past 3 years that have caused so much division in the country, and especially after President Donald Trump was elected. It was the Democrats that didn't want to work with people. It was the Democrats that were out there causing riots and protesting everything Donald Trump did. So maybe Hillary has a change of heart. And all that refusing to work with the president rhetoric that has been permeated, has been thrown out there over the last 3 years is now gone. Hillary has changed her ways because she's not running for president anymore. So she's willing to work with the president. Or is she? Because she said it was on behalf of the people. What about on behalf of the people that voted for Donald Trump and elected him? Do you want to work with those people? Just asking, Hillary. In the video, you also state that there's a list of problems and broken promises by Donald Trump. And I would say, I agree with you, Hillary. The problem is, and this is where the reporter failed to do their job, like they always do for these type of people. If it were me, I would have said, Mrs. Clinton, then why did you refuse to work with the president? Because the only reason that there are broken promises are because the Democrats refused to work with the president. In fact, I believe, as a commentator, that the president has worked more with the Democrats since January than the Democrats worked with the president the prior 2 years. Hillary says there's a list of problems. Okay, Hillary, what are the problems with the country? Is it too many people flooding in from other countries? Is it a border wall? What is that? You were so vague in your comment, and the malpractice media didn't ask you to clarify your statement. So you're allowed to leave an ambiguous statement that has no real meaning at all, none whatsoever, and it is projected, it is displayed as Hillary still being relevant and brilliant and this wonderful leader of women in the Democrat Party. You've got to love it, folks. You've got to love it. Whose fault is it that the American people who elected Trump, who wanted Obamacare repealed, that was one of the 3 big platform items the president ran on, the border wall. Who is blocking the border wall right now? Tax cuts are a whole different thing. That was blocked, though, by the Democrats. They didn't want to give tax cuts either. Republicans just gave it to the rich people in the corporations. But that's neither here nor there at this time. We're talking about Hillary and her wonderful leadership of the Democrat Party, the women's liber herself. Let's not forget how wonderful Hillary is and how so many of her friends have been lost by circumstantial weirdness. People have died over weird situations and just no longer exist. Hillary, this great woman, the woman of rights, she was so close to becoming the president. All the people that have died that she has worked with and that have been a part of her life at one time or another. Oh, Hillary. Must be tough being you. It must be tough being you. Hopefully you enjoyed my little tribute there to Mrs. Clinton. We're no longer going to see her as a presidential candidate. She's bowing out. She's stepping aside. She's giving the younger generation a chance to run for president against Trump. And I can tell you why. Nobody's going to believe me. But Donald Trump's going to win again. I'm not saying I particularly like that notion, but that's what's going to happen. The Democrats have nobody of age that is popular and growing popular and is able to captivate the nation and to take them to the next level. There's nobody this time around. Next time, 2024, there's going to be somebody that's going to be anointed if the American people don't wake up from their stupor. Unfortunately, I think they're not going to. It seems to be a repeating occurrence over and over and over and over again. The American people do not understand left, right is really one bird. And you need both wings to make it fly. And maybe sometimes it turns a little bit to the right, but it constantly flies left. Constantly flying left. It's almost like the right wing is semi-broken. Maybe it's missing some feathers. When we get back, folks, we'll touch on ladies in the news. We'll also take some of your phone calls. And then later in the hour, we've got our Captain Marvel movie review. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey, Uncle Shady, where are they going? Hey, you, get back here. The John Lebang Show will be right back. Does your house need a paint job, but you don't want to do it? Then call Tom at Quality One Painting. He can handle all of your interior and exterior painting needs. He gives free estimates and senior discounts. Call Tom at Quality One. 313-982-2986. That's 313-982-2986. Quality One Painting.
You're listening to the John Lebang Show.
And it's so much fun. Why you keep talking? Oh, am I not supposed to? No. Oh, back to John. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get into some news items, if I may. And since we are dubbing this show the International Women's Brigade, we're going to talk about women in the news. First off, on Fox News, Texas woman 28 abandoned 5 kids to make a trip to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Crystal, 28, of Round Rock, was arrested February 11th on 2 counts of abandoning or endangering a child, which is a second-degree felony. The children range from the age of 15 months to 13 years. She decided to travel to Myrtle Beach to investigate a job opportunity, or so she says, because she needed a way to get away from everything that's, quote, that was happening at home. Single moms. Good job, single mom. 5 kids. Awesome. She had also gone to the beach and visited tourist locations while staying with a male friend. There's quality mom. I'd like to know how many different baby daddies these 5 children have.
Baby.
Round Rock police told Fox 7 Austin they visited Warren Raven's home in late August after the Gates Elementary School principal expressed concern about the children's living conditions.
Oh, baby.
The children complained to the principal about having to stay up all night to change their younger siblings' diapers. Good job. That is a quality mom.
Oh, baby.
The officer said there was an infant in a crib near the front door with 4 other children found in the home. Officers also found a dirty diaper in the closet, flies in the kitchen, and multiple knives that the children could access because knives are bad these days. Good job, Mom. In a companion story, if I may, single mom, tired of doing this by herself, abandons 2 kids by the roadside. A North Carolina single mother who was so tired of doing this myself was arrested this week after leaving her 2 young children on the roadside. Jennifer, who's 38, is accused of dropping off her 9-year-old and her 19-month-old. 19-month-old. These moms are gems, aren't they? She says, quote, "I know what I did was wrong, but I was so tired of doing everything myself." I think it was a few weeks ago we talked about women being able to choose better men, make better choices on men. See, women, it's on you to make your choices in men. Men that'll stay with you and take care of your kids so you don't have to be old Jennifer here leaving your kids on the roadside. She said she drove onto a school campus, dropped off her kids, and watched a woman take them by the hand, which she incorrectly believed was a legal method of abandoning children. See how they're spinning this in the news media? No. You know it's illegal to drop your kids off anywhere. It's like those stupid mothers that leave their kid in the car when they run into the store. Or the mothers that drag their kid across Mexico to jump the border into the U.S. Quality mothers out there. The children are now safe in foster care, or apparently safe. You don't know if they're safe in foster care. Another related story, I suppose. woman was accused of acting out a movie when she killed her boyfriend. A Missouri woman was drunk and reenacted a movie when she fatally shot her boyfriend. Kalisha, 37, is facing a charge of second-degree murder for the slaying. She can't get first-degree murder, apparently, because it wasn't premeditated at all. See how you can get away with stuff? You can just go, oh, I was just playing. Boom, boom. Hey, you want to play a game? What do you want to play? I'm going to be Dirty Harry. Oh, please, I accidentally on purposely shot my boyfriend. Can you come here? I'm sorry about that. Wait till he's dead before you get here, though. She was arrested Thursday night after the police in Fulton, Missouri, responded to Peterson's report that she accidentally shot her boyfriend, Dalton, who was 36. Well, she was a cougar. She's never going to get a young guy now. She's going to have to be a lesbo in the clinker there. Peterson advised that she and Dalton had been watching a movie and drinking lots of alcohol that evening. Peterson said that at some point, Dalton suggests the two play... Dalton. It's his fault. Dalton suggested that the two play out a scene in the movies that involved a firearm. Peterson, I love this because this is how the police are writing this. This is straight out of the report. Because the reporter can't think on their own to change it up a little bit to make it sound the same, but make it more readable. But here you go. Peterson advised that the two retrieved the handgun. So they both, let's go to the bedroom and get the gun because I want to play Dirty Harry. It was a Taurus .38 caliber revolver held by the woman, and she pointed in his direction and actually pulled the trigger, striking Dalton in the head. Poof! Right there in the noggin. Medics attempted to treat Dalton and declared that he was dead. Yeah, usually a bullet to the head's not going to do so well. Cranium penetration is not something you want a bullet to do. Police officials told NBC News he could not provide details about the movie the couple was reenacting and suggested the title or knowledge thereof might be used as evidence.
Go ahead. Make my day.
It's Dirty Martha. It's not funny, but, you know. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't reenact your favorite movie scene, no matter what it is, in a companion story that says, my girlfriend became my husband. Ah, isn't that sweet? A couple say they were in love with each other and would be in love with each other, whatever gender they were, after one of them transitioned from female to a male. Except you can see that they're wrapping the breast area in the thing. They're wrapping it to hide the boobs. Because although some men do have boobs, they're called man boobs, she's got girl boobs. And you can't be a man with girl boobs. So you can't be a male with girl boobs. I'm wondering if she has a schmeckle yet. But they've been sweethearts ever since they were, in school together. Aw. It's so nice that their parents allowed this stuff to take place. Oh, two young, impressionable children that probably watch a lot of crap on the inner tubes and the movies got the idea that, hey, I'll just fall in love with my friend. One of them wants to be a man, but you can't be a man. I mean, there's people who think that because they get surgeries and stuff that they're man, but you have to understand, if you understand the word genetics and gender and where the root of those words come from, it has to do with your sexual organ that you were born with. And anything beyond that is just some kind of man-made manipulation. It really isn't real. It's putting makeup on or, removing a mole. you're still the gender you were born. You're born what you're born. You can't determine that. Whatever, if you're born with a schmeckle, then be proud of having a schmeckle. That's it. If you don't have a schmeckle and you got the other stuff, be proud of it. There's a lot of advantages to being the ones that don't have the schmeckle if you just stop listening to the feminists. We're going to go out to your calls now. If you have anything you want to talk about, discuss on the radio show before we go to break here, feel free to call us on that secret banger hotline. You know the number. Our first call heading out to Chicago. Listening in on 24.7 The Stream. Peppa, what say you?
There ain't nothing wrong with having lots of baby daddies. You get tired of one, you can always go to the others. And can I say one more thing?
Nobody's stopping you.
That is as stupid as an ugly, pale-faced, stupid hoe.
Okay, Pepper, thanks for your call. Our next call comes in from Detroit. Shady, what do you have to say?
John, can I tell you a story about a woman?
Yeah, if it doesn't take too long.
Listen, I know there's one woman who didn't like who she was, so she became something else. And once she became something else, she didn't like who she was then. So then she tried to become something else. And when that didn't work out, she went back to what she was in the first place.
Is that it?
Yeah, John, that's it.
What was the point of that?
It's to tell you, John, that women are never satisfied, and they'll never be satisfied, and they get confused because they're not satisfied. And in the end, they always go back to what they always were.
And what's that, Shady?
Crazy.
Okay, thanks for your call. We've got another call coming in, this time from Washington, D.C. Ditzy, what say you?
I just want to respond to that fat, bloated baby mama if I can. Listen here, you Brillo-head brontosaurus. I wouldn't be proud about all those baby daddies. You're like the Ohio Turnpike. Anybody can ride if you just pay.
Okay, thanks for your call. Our next call from Detroit.
Listen here, man. Why do you keep talking about them women being depressed, man?
You mean oppressed?
Depressed, oppressed, I don't care what that stuff is. They're always depressed, man. If they want to stop being depressed, man, don't be the kitty lady.
What?
Have you ever noticed those kitty ladies are the ones that's all depressed?
So you say cats make women depressed?
Listen here, man. You can tell how depressed a woman is by how many cats she got. If she got 10 cats, she outright crazy, man.
Well, Shady says they're all crazy.
Well, he got a point there. But I'm just saying extra special crazy, if you know what I mean.
Okay, well, we're not going to bash women on the show tonight.
Who's bashing them? I'm telling the truth, man.
Okay, well, thanks for your call. Going back out to Washington, D.C., Donald, what say you?
John, I love women, especially with huge boobs.
Okay, thanks for your call. Our next call coming in from Canada.
We love our women here, eh?
Yeah, and we love our women here in the States as well.
Why don't you give them health care, eh?
Why can't they pay for their own health care?
Oh, that's not fair, eh? Women should get everything free, eh?
Some women would think that. Is that all you have to say?
I guess, eh?
All right, well, thanks for your call. Listening in on Radio Love in California. Juan, what say you?
Hey, man, I like the senoritas, man. They look good with the little chingalas, man. They run around and I'm like, hey, baby, looking fine.
Sir, I would think that your statement would be considered sexist by some women.
I love having sexes, man. I go down to the border, man, and then I just say, hey, little lady, you want to come to the States? I'll let you in, baby.
Okay, sir, we got to let you go. Thanks for your call. Our next call, down in Florida, listening in on Tampa Bay FM. Cora, what say you?
Some of your show's full of sick people. Sick, I tell you, sick.
Okay, thanks for your call. We've got to take a quick time out, folks, but when we return, we're going to talk Captain Marvel, the movie, and our review. So stay tuned. Don't move a muscle.
The John Lebang Show. Be right back.
With lots of fun and excitement. Yes! Are you in need of commercial or residential window cleaning? Do you need your office clean? Maybe custodial work? How about some gutter cleaning? If you do, then call Pane in the Glass. For a beautiful shine that's crystal clear, call Pane and the Glass. You can find them on Facebook at Pane and the glass.
Hey, man, it's at the bottom of the hour, man. Do you know where your kids are, man?
If you want to contact the John Lebang Show, feel free to send an email to jlebang@live.com. And if you're on Twitter, look him up at John Lebang. And don't forget to go to his Facebook page at The John Lebang Show. Banger. Now here's John.
And welcome back. We've turned on the banger cam, so for those of you who are tuned in via Facebook or YouTube or one of the other outlets that are carrying the video feed, we'd like to welcome you. I'm your host, John Lebang. You're watching The John Lebang Show, a show that's carried on over 40 stations in 5 countries. So I want to talk about and give you my review of the latest Marvel movie, Captain Marvel. You know, there was a lot of talk about what was going to happen in this movie and how it was going to be received, if there was a political message behind it. And I went in because I'm a big Marvel fan, but they have done an excellent job for the most part on my favorite characters, which happen to be Captain America and Iron Man. Carol Danvers was never a big hero in my world. But I understand with the political climate and all, they want to, especially after how DC put out such a great movie with Wonder Woman, that Marvel would want to get in on the action. So I went to see the movie. I wasn't that excited about it because of the character, and but there were some good parts to it, and I'd like to focus on those first before I get into the more the parts that I might not have enjoyed as much. And then after that, we'll get into spoilers. So anybody who doesn't want to hear the spoilers, we'll give you a little bit of warning, and then you can take off and then come back after you've seen the movie, and then you can pick up from there. And then we can get your input on how you feel about what we discussed here about Captain Marvel. So let's go into what I really liked about the movie. First of all, the Stan Lee intro was awesome. It was classy. It was a great way to start the movie. It gets you feeling good about what you're going to be seeing in the next 2 hours or whatever. I thought Sam Jackson as Nick Fury was very good. I was going in expecting a little bit more of a die-hard kind of Sam Jackson, but we got it was Jackson, but it wasn't quite the hard-edged Jackson that I thought we would get. But I still liked him. In fact, I thought he was one of the best parts of the movie. Now, I also liked Annette Bening as the Supreme Intelligence. And I don't want to get into spoilers too much, so that's all I'll say as far as that is concerned. I have to say, I do not like Brie Larson. I didn't think she was very good. The editing of the movie was clunky. It looked like Brie was having a really hard time. Either she doesn't run very well or she was having a hard time running in her suit. And the filming of that was very awkward. The fighting scenes were filmed in a way that made Brie look clunky and stiff, and she didn't look natural. I would think costume design has a lot to do with that, but the filming in itself should have picked that up, and they should have changed some of the angles so that it wasn't so apparent. I mean, there's not much you can do with an origin movie these days. A lot of it was predictable. In fact, my buddy Keezy, if you're watching, I hit 3 of them pretty well, didn't I? I told you 3 things would probably happen, and that was just by the trailers. And that was another problem with this movie is the trailers, in my opinion, didn't do the movie justice. And we'll get into why once we get into spoilers. But as far as the last 4, we'll say origin movies, for Marvel, I think this is the weakest of the bunch. Black Panther was better. Spider-Man Homecoming was just far superior to this. And Doctor Strange, I still think is a little bit better than this movie overall. But that's going to be about it for what I can tell you without spoiling anymore. So I'm going to give you maybe a C minus for a movie ranking. If you want to scale 1 to 10, it's probably a 6. It's on the bottom half of all the Marvel movies. I'm not going to say it's the worst Marvel movie, but it's definitely not one of the top 5 or 6. It's not in the top 10, and I think it's probably, without actually sitting down and ranking everything individually, it's probably somewhere between 12 and 17 in there as far as how good the Marvel movie is. But you can't blame that all on one thing, because it's an origin story. There's not much you can do with an origin story. But what you could have done is either design the suits a little bit better. I thought the CGI was a little and we'll get into some of that a little bit later too, because I thought it was, at times, it rivaled Black Panther's bad parts of their CGI. And maybe because they didn't have the budget of Infinity War or the next Marvel movie, because that's where they're pumping all their money into, rightfully so, that they didn't have the budget to just clean that CGI up perfectly. Okay, that's it. That's all I can tell you for the non-spoilery part of this video or this audio. I'm going to count to 5. And if you're still listening, you want to hear what I'm going to have to say about the bad parts of this movie and the individual plot points that that fill in plenty of holes, because there are a lot of holes, plot holes that have been in the MCU that were filled in with this movie. I have to give it credit for that. Whether I like the plot hole and how they fixed it or how they changed it a little bit is another story, and we'll get into that. So I'm counting down right now. You've had plenty of warning. If you're still listening after I count down from 5, then that's your bad. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So let's get into this. We've heard a lot of things going on politically. You know, people on both sides of the issue, the social justice warriors, the people on the other side, you know, the alt-righters there, everybody arguing about the nature of this movie. I believe it was Brie Larson, but if it wasn't Brie Larson, I apologize. I vaguely heard about this. But somebody said that this movie wasn't made for men. This was definitely a Disney sci-fi fairy tale, if nothing else. It fit the Disney mold. It fit the sci-fi mold because they were touching on little things of Star Trek and maybe even a little Star Wars in there. And then it had the fairy tale to it. And we'll get into the fairy tale as we go along here. It did fill a lot of plot holes. There's a bunch of things that, Keezy, if you're still watching, you're going to chime in, I hope, and say, yep, you called that. So on the dislikes, well, I talked about a little bit, but now we're going to get in detail. So here we have Carol Danvers, and the whole story, you know, the other pilot, I can't remember her name, and I apologize. Again, I'm not a huge Carol Danvers fan. I never really got into her in the comic books, so I don't know a great deal about her character as far as everything, but I've done my research about her, and I know that the stories that she was a part of that I read, she was a very minor character or wasn't a very interesting character. This was girl power movie all day, and that's fine, I guess. That's fine if you want girl power movie. If that is more important than producing a well-produced, no plot holes movie, because as I said before, it filled some plot holes, but it made a whole bunch of other ones. Or it retconned some things, might be the better way of putting it. I think it was the friend of Carol Danvers. They were complaining that they can't fly in combat. You know, women aren't allowed to fly in combat. They're complaining about this. But these women were lucky enough to fly top secret vehicles that can go into space, mind you. They can go into space. That is led. The project was led by an alien. The whole thing was derived, the energy source of these vehicles were derived from the Tesseract. And this gives her power in the end. And this is how it's, the power is explained to us. And that's a bad thing. Women aren't allowed to go into combat, but hell, here you go. You can fly the most top secret project we ever had, powered by the Tesseract. Now, I'm asking pilots, I don't know how many pilots are out there that are listening, but if you had an option, if the Air Force gave you an option, fly top secret spaceship powered by some unknown source, or fly combat missions where you get to shoot down MiGs every once in a while and maybe an Iraqi jet or something, which one would you want to do? Be the space guy or be the guy just blowing things up? So, I'm just me. I would be like, well, give me the top secret one. So, here we have, they're complaining that they can't be in combat, but they're flying the cooler mission. They have the cooler job, the more important job in some people's opinion. They get to work with the Tesseract. Speaking of the Tesseract, that's basically where Carol Danvers gets her powers. The engine's power is derived from the Tesseract. The engine gets blown up. That power surges out, envelops her, and infuses her with this cosmic power. Doesn't kill her. She's infused with it. When the Red Skull got touched it, oh well, he disappeared. He had super strength. She had no powers. Red Skull had super strength because he was part of the secret soldier program. That's why he had the Red Skull and all that. He gets taken off and he's flying off to Vormir until Thanos comes and hangs out with him. But Carol Danvers gets infused with the power. Okay, hey, it's happened before where beings have been infused with the power of a cosmic gem. Okay, we get it. Because we've got Scarlet Witch, which she's a regular member of the Avengers, not new. She's been around for 3 movies now. I think 3 movies. Wow. Yet she doesn't get a solo movie. But whatever. She's gone. Wipe her off the face, poof, gone. And bring in Carol Danvers, who gets her powers from the same type thing. Different gem, but it's the same type thing, Now, Carol's infused with the power. She's been given all this new blood because apparently blood helps you get superpowers or helps you do something. I don't know why you would infuse them with blood. Make, whatever. But that's a plot point. Now she's stronger than Thor. I mean, she's strong, although she's being told to hold back, That's another plot point. Jan Ra, all movies, like, no, don't use your powers. Don't use your powers. Hold them, control them. Whatever. To people with great power, it needs good responsibility or something, right? I know I hacked that, but it's a joke. So he's telling her not to use the power. Now, if you want to kill the Skrulls, I'm just saying, if you want to kill the Skrulls, wouldn't you want your most powerful weapon going nuts on them and wiping out everything if you knew she could do that? No, hold it back, man. Hold it back. Don't worry about it. No big deal. No big deal. We don't want you to use it. Use a gun. Oh, wait. She's the only one. Did you notice that? She's the only one who doesn't use a gun or a weapon of some sort when they're going to that one little planet where she gets kidnapped at. Nope. superpower girl that you can't use her power. She can't use her power, but, she can go in there without a gun. Everybody else has got some kind of weapon. Now, I was thinking, if all you need is to be blasted with energy that is derived from a cosmic stone of some sort, the gems, one of the 6. If it's that easy to be infused with power, then why don't we have a bunch of Hydra agents running around the MCU doing damage because now they're super strength because they got blasted way back in Captain America, the First Avenger. Remember that, by the way. Captain America, the First Avenger. Marvel made it a point to call him the First Avenger. The Howling Commandos are running around and they're using weapons on all these Hydra agents that they, because Cap broke them out. And they got some of the weapons. They're blasting each other. Woo, 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 blasting each other with them. You'd think if it's that easy, at least Carol Danvers easy to be infused with power, that we'd have a bunch of Hydra agents running around with superpowers. Pretty good ones, too. Because apparently Carol Danvers, who doesn't seem to have superhuman strength. I did say I liked Annette Bening's rendition of the Supreme Intelligence. I thought it was decent. It's an interesting concept. It was very Matrixy, but it was at least a decent concept. I did not like her as they were tying that in to she was Marvel. I thought and I touched on this earlier, I thought the fight scenes were awful. Most of the hand-to-hand combat looked clunky, filmed awkwardly. They should have got other people to do I don't know if it was the choreography, I don't know if it was the suit, I don't know if it was just bad. A lot of it's bad filming and editing, I can tell you that right now. So I don't want to put this on Brie Larson, even though I didn't think her acting was all that spectacular. I don't think you can blame the fight scenes on her as much as the filming and maybe the choreography, but I just thought it was clunky. It didn't look smooth. It looked chopped up, but not in a way that Black Widow kicks butt. Now we have a part that I swear I'm going to call it gag me with a spoon. These next parts, the next part I'm going to talk about here, is just things that just made me sick. They were put in the movie. I don't know why they were put in the movie. They should have never been put in the movie. They should have never touched on it. Whatever. Here we go. The whole thing, all through the movie, and I know some people that saw it before me said they didn't see it. I saw it totally. If you don't hold a girl back, she can be a Mary Sue. That is the message of this movie. And what is considered holding a girl back is throwing a pitch at a girl and the girl goes down in baseball and she has got to get up and wipe that dust off and get back in the batter's box. Or she's in the military and she's trying to jump from rope to rope and she misses and boom, she falls down and her peers heckle her. And various forms of that. That happens to everybody that goes through that and doesn't succeed right away. So to me, it's just like, it's another thing it's put in there and it's like, man, you didn't need to shove that in our throat because that happens to everybody. Not everybody is awesome at something right away, and just about everybody that plays baseball takes a pitch too close and has to go down. Or just about everybody who is learning physical fitness, whether it be in the military or whatever, and you're jumping from rope to rope, slips and falls. It happens. You've got to get yourself back up, but in a girl movie, that's something they highlight, like it's something that's special, that girls are the only ones that have to deal with that. But there is precedence there because of the fact that Scarlet Witch got her powers from a cosmic gem, and she's pretty powerful. So, of course, Brie Larson, she's going to be very powerful because she got her power from a cosmic gem. And now that they're bringing her into Endgame, It just makes me feel like they're bringing in a heavy hitter because they don't have enough heavy hitters to go up against Thanos. Okay, so now this really bugged me. The cat thing, the whole cat thing, the Flurgan or whatever they called it. It was unbelievably useless to the plot point, except for the fact that it swallowed the Tesseract so they could have a side adventure chasing Captain Marvel with a lunchbox instead of chasing everybody who had the Tesseract for real, because who would think that a Tesseract was inside the cat's stomach? That wasn't a cat, it was a Flurgan. Where's this Flurgan been ever since? I don't know. I've never seen it referenced at all by Nick Fury, ever. So you use that to hide the Tesseract, which is just Disney-esque totally. So, it's such a plot point that's so cheap and not thought out of. They ran themselves into a corner and they go, what are we going to do with the Tesseract? They're coming for it. Hey, have the cat eat it. I mean, stupid. Of course, they finished that plot point in the post-credit where the cat pukes the Tesseract back up. Because nobody was going to worry about the Tesseract being inside the cat, right? Nick Fury was going to allow that Tesseract. I mean, it's probably bad digestion, I'm just saying. That should be a meme. Cats can eat Tesseract. Somebody do a meme on that for me, will you? And then because they wanted some kind of connective tissue, they go, hey, how unfulfilling for Nick Fury, by the way, to have a little cat go, meh, meh. That's what you get for messing with the pussy. I'm just saying. Now the Avengers are not based on Captain America. Oh, no, not anymore. Nope, they are based on Carol Danvers, that retcon. See, we didn't know where the name came from. We only assumed because you called the movie, Marvel, you only called the movie The First Avenger. Captain America, the first, you only did that. So we're going to retcon it. Now it's based on Brie Larson's call sign when she was an Air Force pilot. Okay. An Air Force pilot that complained about the fact that they couldn't be in combat, but they could fly secret space missions to see how well the new spacecraft that was powered by the Tesseract could handle. Okay, great. Huge holes right there, in my opinion. That's just awful. You're kidding me. You're going to name the Avengers? Nick Fury's going to name the Avengers after Captain Marvel, after the fact that Captain America has been... come on. Let's go back. Let's talk about this. Coulson. Right, Coulson, we found this is a plot hole that was filled. Obviously, we didn't know this was a plot hole until now. But here, Coulson meets Captain Marvel. He meets her. And any normal guy, because Brie Larson is a pretty attractive lady. I mean, I hope I don't get in trouble for that. She doesn't like older guys talking about women at all. So hopefully I don't get in trouble. Brie, you're a nice looking lady. Hopefully that doesn't offend you at all. But here you got Coulson. Now we're going back to the first Avenger movie. Coulson, who meets Captain Marvel. And then what does Coulson do? He swoons over Captain America. So much so that he has cards of Captain America. He's in love with Captain America, so we find out, plot hole we didn't know, Coulson is gay. Coulson is gay. Because you would think if the Avengers were named after the call sign of Brie or Captain Marvel, you would think if it was named after him, it would be Marvel or something, the Marvel Initiative. But no, it was the Avenger Initiative. But it's because their call sign's Avenger. Not because Cap was the first Avenger. Retconning Cap there. Hey, screw you, Cap. If I were Chris Evans, I would probably go, okay, I've helped you build up the cinematic universe. I've probably been involved with your 3 best movies, arguably, but at least 3 of your top 5 movies. Maybe 4 out of the top 5 movies. So maybe Chris Evans saw all this and said, you know what, whatever, man. I'm out of here. I'm Captain America, and now you're telling the whole world that it's Captain Marvel, the person you bring in last minute, because you dusted all the good, all the most powerful characters besides Thor and the Hulk. The Hulk's got a blue pill problem or a green pill problem. He's having performance issues. What did Tony say? 1 in 5 or 1 in 7, whatever. A couple more things because we're gonna have to get on out of here. The Skrulls turned out to be instead of invaders like the comic books, these invaders that would take over superheroes' bodies, and started trying to take over the world. Instead of that, they're refugees now. Freaking refugees that Captain Marvel helped. Because we got to worry about refugees. There's a lot of refugees out there, and we have to worry about them, and we have to make sure they're protected. So you retcon the Skrulls from the comics. Skrulls are evil in the comics. They're bad. They use people. They take over their bodies and try to control governments and take down planets that way. No longer in the MCU. Skrulls are introduced as refugees, just running from the evil Kree, which aren't good guys either. See, the Earth was caught in the middle there. Here, the Earth's not caught in the middle. Kind of was until the end where she's, Skrulls are cool. Skrulls are cool. The editing of the movie I thought was dreadful. The music was not well used. It was just terrible. They were trying to do kind of a Guardians of the Galaxy thing, but with 90s music, and it wasn't the same. They tried to borrow all cool elements from all the other movies to put this movie together. You could see how predictable it was, and it just wasn't that good, unfortunately. The best thing about it is the only thing it changes for Infinity War is it adds one more person to the mix. Hopefully Marvel doesn't ruin it all and uses her to fix everything from everywhere. And the original members, the people who have earned this battle, this revenge battle with Thanos, actually are the ones that get to do it. And Brie Larson, hopefully Thanos, that little rumor where he depowers her, I friggin' hope that happens. Because I hated this movie. I hated it. Just because it was a bad movie. And there's so many... I could go on for hours on what I thought was bad with this movie. I called the eye being scratched out by the cat. I called the Tesseract. That was the easy one. Tesseract giving her power. That was the easy one. And I couldn't believe they would name the Avengers after her call sign. I didn't say it was call sign. I just thought it would be some connection to her. I just had a feeling because this movie was all based on girl power. And it was there's very little to do for guys except have what I thought was the best character of the movie. Sam Jackson as Nick Fury. They should have called it Fury. And just added her in there. That would have been better. Would have made more sense. Thanks for listening to my review, everybody, of Captain Marvel. Let me know what you think in the comment section or the chat room. And we will see you next time. We're going to be turning off the banger cam. www.jlebang.com. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Tune in again next week. Same time, same space, same station.
Resistance